Good afternoon. Today, we are going to discuss about our observational practices. We are the group 92 from the UNED and we're studying a bachelor's degree in foreign languages with emphasis in English. I am Alison Juliana Cortés. I did my practices in the Colegio Eucarístico María del Refugio with the teacher Laura Vanessa Balbuena Rodríguez. I was with the first grade, 8th grade, 8A and 8V grades, 7th grade, 7A and V grades. Some important features about the school is that it's a private school located in Ibagué, Lima. And because of the COVID-19, they did the classes virtual and in the school. So some students had their classes through the platform Meet.
Thank you, Alison. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Ricardo Muñoz. I am from San Pablo, Nariño, but I live in Rovira, Tolima. I am also going in the 5th semester. I have been doing the practice in the educational institution La Florida with the teacher Rigoberto Devia. The teacher is a very kind person. The students belong to the 6th and 8th degrees. Grades, sorry. 6th grade students are age 13 and 16. 8th grade students are age 14 and 16 years. Thank you.
Hello, partners. My name is Andres Felipe Miguel Cerón. I'm part of the Lily strategy, so I'm doing my pedagogy practice in the virtual space of the CPAS. So all of the classes were through my computer, and all of the students are university students that have 18 or more than 18 years old. And my tutor in charge of my practice is Viviano Spine.
Okay, dear guys, good afternoon. My name is José Camilo Jiménez Cruz. I am 23 years old. I live in city of Pitalito, Huila. I am registered to the SECA Pitalito. I am doing the practicing the virtual methodology with the club, the English with the students of level B1. With them, I have learned a lot of science. Each one has very advanced in the different learning skills, but we learn from everyone. The teacher is super cool and always makes class enjoyable.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to proceed with the questions prepared to discuss that are 7 questions in total. So, okay, so the first question is, did you perceive that the teacher planned every class or she rather improvised in the sessions? Is that planning or improvisation successful or not? Explain why.
In my case, I couldn't see that the teacher plans the class, which allowed him to work very well with his students. The teacher doesn't improvise. He has the activities planned, which the students are always working on. Class are not so successful because they need to involve novel activities. I think the teacher could implement learning strategies that are more applying to students, so they will learn better. Amor.
Thank you, partner. That's interesting. I believe that in my case, that the tutor planned his classes because during the class, an order always was followed. That was normally the greetings and the name of the topic, then the explanation of the topic, later the exercise to practice the knowledge, And finally, a space was given to the student to ask questions. But I also think that in all the classes, there is always a bit of improvisation because in the classes, not all the students are the same, or in my case, because I'm participating in the CIPAS. And in these cases, not all the students are the same. And the teacher must to adapt and decide how to explain so that all the students understand correctly. I don't.
Okay, that teacher always had each of the classes prepared, which always makes for the learning of each and every one of the participants successful. Yeah.
Okay, so in my case, I perceive that a teacher also planned every class. And I think that planning is successful because in that order, you have an order of the class. You can also prevent things that can maybe happen. And I noticed that the teacher planned every class because at the beginning of every class, she explained it to the students like the objective they had for that class and also the activities they were going to do. And during new explanations, she also used like PowerPoint slides. So of course, if she was going to use that platform or that media, she had to prepare it beforehand. And also, as my partner Andres said, I believe that improvisations may arise, but it is important to have like a plan beforehand, like a class prepared. And if an improvisation occurred, it's different and you can handle it different, but not a whole class. Okay, so the second question is, what pedagogical skills do you highlight of the English teacher?
In this aspect, the teacher shows that they has great knowledge with his area, since he dominates the topic that they develop in class. He also has the ability to express himself because the student understand the topics and activities development. The teacher is a implement because their ideas, theories, and concepts are clear. The teacher shows responsibility and communicative to their work. No more.
Thank you, partner. In my case, I think that the teachers had a good command of the English language, and this allowed them to create a material that was understandable for all of the students, in addition to explanation that they gave. They were using topics that happen in the real world, so I think that that is interesting, which further facilities to understanding of the topics. Thank you.
Okay, in my case, the teacher has the ability to make the class fun above all that all the students participate and actively. Yeah.
Um, Also, in my case, the English teacher always knew how to engage with the students. She was always with a very good attitude, and her tone of voice was very adequate for each class. For example, the tone of voice he used with the first grade was different of the tone of voice she used with seventh or eighth graders. Other thing is that during all her classes, she was always very creative with the activities she did, and also with the platforms she used. She was always trying to find like new pages on internet, and if she was going to do an explanation through PowerPoint slides, Every PowerPoint slide was different and new, and the activities were also didactic and dynamic. Oh, the third question is, what were the general attitudes of students towards the English class, their teacher, and classmates? Why do you think that happens?
I think that the most students participate in class, uh, but some students struggle as they are tired of the same method and activities in class. I think that is necessary to involve new activities. I think that the teacher could implement learning strategies that are more appealing to students. This will allow them to learn better. Okay.
Thank you, partner. Well, during all of the classes that I saw, I could notice an atmosphere of mutual respect between the teacher and the students. In addition, there was also a feeling to respect and camaraderie among all of the students. This is because the teacher always behaved in a good way during all the classes, and the students respond to this respect with more respect. Thank you.
Okay. What I like the most about being in this group is that all the participants know how to express themselves very well in English, and when I may not understand something, all the students and the teachers are very friendly and explain to me in the best way. That's why I feel good learning without fear. I'm very happy. Yeah.
Thank you. In the school I was, they showed to have a lot of energy during the classes, and this was because the teacher gave them like the confidence, and the activity she did gave them that kind of attitude. Also, especially with the 7th and 8th grade, and sometimes because of this, they were a little bit irrespectful, but the teacher at the end of the day knew how to handle it. And also, I think that this is not a really good feature, but it was that the students didn't speak English during the classes, and this was because the teacher didn't promote this. Sometimes when explaining topics, she did explanations in English and also in Spanish, but the students almost always answered in Spanish unless the activity obligated them to do it in English. I also noticed that they followed the instructions when it was about the activities. So they did the activities according to what the teacher asked them to do. That is a really good way because also the teacher explained it very good each topic. And also they had like the confidence to ask the teacher if they had any question or confusion. And basically that's it. Okay, so we continue with the fourth question, and this is, do you consider students learned thanks to the teacher's skills? Why or why not?
I think that the teacher has very good skills as a trainer, but uh, these are based on traditional education, uh, since they are monotonous and rote. However, the students understand the topics, but it's necessary to implement activities that motivate the student so that they learn better in the long term.
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you, partner. Well, I believe that the students manage to learn thanks to how the teacher present the different topics. They always try to explain us clearly, clearly, clearly as possible, giving all real life explains, using simple words and using Spanish to explain when it had really been explained in English. In addition, the teacher always encouraged the students to practice and to practice their knowledge. In addition, the teacher always asked if the students had any questions about the topic, or if they always respond in a friendly way. Thanks.
Okay. I think that if we learned that the teacher's skills, because he makes us speak in all the classes, and so he can look at the mistakes we make, correct us in very kind way. Thanks.
Okay. Also, the teacher did the corrections very kind, and yes, the students learned thanks to her because she showed to know very good the language. Her pronunciation was very good, and also were her explanations. She also used different resources, as I previously said, that make the classes more dynamic and didactic. So in that way, also the students had also the opportunity to have like a significant learning. And as I also said previously, she always showed them like a good attitude and gave them always the confidence in order that the students ask questions and didn't remain with those confusions or doubts. And the activity she did was very good for every student to practice what they already knew and what they were reviewing. Okay, so fifth question. Would you change anything in the teacher's attitude? What and why?
No, because the teacher is a very kind, attentive, and active person. Because in class he is aware of all the students, because he answers their questions. But I would like you to work on never activities in your classes. Okay.
Okay.
I am agree with you. I would not change the attitude of the teacher because it seems to me that it's very good, and the student responds positively to it, and change it could damage the existing relationship of respect.
Okay. I will not change anything since the teacher is very professional to teach and has an excellent attitude with each and every one of the students. Yeah.
Okay. And I wouldn't say like the teacher's attitude or her procedure, but I would like for the teacher to be a little bit more strict or firm, because as I said, especially seventh and eighth grade, were like with a really good attitude and also with a lot of energy, and sometimes they wanted to do like what they like their own. And of course, the teacher sometimes knew how to handle them, but other times they took a lot of time off the classes. So the classes started in another hour or minute. And also sometimes, and it occurred in one class that the students wanted to finish like the class earlier, and they start to behave not in a really good way in asking the teacher for finish the class before and at the end of everything of the discussion they accomplished or they had what they wanted because the teacher ended the class 5 minutes early. Okay, the sixth question is, in the case that the students are not very fluent in English, why do you think that happens?
Yeah, I think that the most students understand the topic, uh, but some students have difficulty as they are tired of the same methods and activities in class.
Mm,
Uh, the class are not as successful because they need to involve novel activities such as group work and support of audio and visual material for work their class.
mhm,
Right.
Thank you, Bernard.
mm,
Well, I think that if the students are not very good in English, it's because they don't practice so much. Because they, well, if they explain the topic, you can learn it for a while. But if you don't practice it, you can forget certain important parts of the topic. So they have to make the must to practice sometimes the topics of the session. Thank you.
Okay, I think that students does not master English very well is due to a lack of commitment, taste, and dedication. Since the university gives us the knowledge and tools to learn, and it is up to us whether we learn or not. Yeah.
mhm. In the case of the Eucaristico, I think it is because the teacher didn't develop like the four skills during all the classes. She was always focused in other skills that and not in speaking or listening or reading. And I think this affected because in order to be someone fluent in any language, they need to develop especially what is speaking and listening. Okay, so the last question says, which skills does the teacher encourage the most in students? Writing, speaking, listening, or reading? Why do you think she focuses mostly on that or those particular skills and not in all of them?
In this aspect, the teacher includes the four main skills, such as reading, speaking, listening, and reading, but focus on listening and reading, and speaking, uh, which is a very good, but it's necessary to implement activities that motivate the students that learn better. I think the teacher focus on these two skills, listening and speaking, because these are the most important skills to develop on the most difficult to learn. Right.
Thank you, partner. In my case, is some similar because during the class, I have noticed that the tutors try to strengthen all the possible skills, but in most cases, I have seen that they focus. Well, the focus is prioritized on listening and reading skills because the students may or may not participate in may or may no participation. The use of speaking of writing skills is limited. An example of is when the tutor asks the participation of the student to read a paragraph, or when the students are asked to form a sentence using a specific vocabulary. Thank you.
Okay. uh, the teachers focus more on the ability to learn to speak so that we can express ourselves and have a fluent conversation in English with other peoples, whether they are foreigners. Okay, thanks.
I noticed that the teacher encouraged the most in the students the skill of writing, and as Andres said, she also encouraged like reading, but with was short sentences or also text, but really short. So it was especially writing, and I don't really get why she didn't focus on other skills like speaking and listening, but I believe that it is maybe because um, of the time she had to develop or to explain certain grammar topics, or maybe that it is faster to finish like a grammar topic if she only focuses on what is writing and reading. Okay, so that will be all the questions. I don't know if someone wants to add something. No. So basically, this is the end of our meeting. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope everyone learned from each other about our own experiences. And this is all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, partners.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
See you.